In the last chapter, we realized that we, together with Melina, are those who fulfill the prophecy of setting the Erdtree on fire. In connection with the prophecy, there is now another item that refers to a prophecy. While wandering around in the lands between, we come across 7 paintings that a wandering artist has left behind. One of these paintings is titled Prophecy. If we take a closer look at this painting, we can see the Chapel of Anticipation, Stormvale, and the Fringe Folk Hero's Grave. We were resurrected in the Chapel of Anticipation. We came from the Fringe Folk Hero's Grave to take our first steps in Limgrave, and Stormvale is the first major destination on our journey. The reward for finding the painting is the Warhawk Ashes, which contains the line, "Spirit of a Stormvale Warhawk. With its lord vanquished and its wings wounded, the hawk perished as it solemnly gazed at its former home. The storm is a warhawk's cradle." With Stormvale in the painting, the Warhawk Ashes fits thematically in the overall picture. The line, "The storm is a warhawk's cradle," describes a birthplace. It may even allude to our birthplace. However, the title seems a bit out of place. Although we already know that we are part of the prophecy, it still doesn't seem entirely appropriate for the painting. Some in the Elden Ring community believe that the title was mistakenly swapped with the painting Flightless Bird, because this painting is apparently thematically related to the prophecy. However, I believe that the titles were deliberately chosen and would like to share my interpretations with you in this video. Elden Ring is not just a video game. Elden Ring is art. Many of the game's locations have been designed like paintings. This should have become clear in many situations. We encounter the beauty of Elden Ring in Limgrave, at Siofra River, in Leonia, in Lanedale, at the Harlech, and in many other situations. I am convinced that we have to interpret Elden Ring as art in order to uncover all its secrets. In the following chapters, I will use recurring themes, metaphors, parallels, and subtext hidden in-game to get more information from what is given to us. Since for many in the community this does not meet the standard of a theory, I refer to my conclusions as interpretations. Nevertheless, I am convinced of my interpretations because, in my opinion, they create a common picture like many small puzzle pieces. I hope to make this picture a little more recognizable for you with each chapter. We should first get an overview of all the paintings. In my opinion, these contain information that has not yet been worked out by the community. The paintings can be divided into 2 groups. 4 of the paintings contain a reference to the Erdtree. The remaining 3 also form a group, each containing hidden information about 3 major characters. After the series We Are Godwyn, I will devote myself to these 3 characters and their associated paintings. If we now look at the 4 paintings with a reference to the Erdtree, they can even be arranged according to the size of this reference in the painting. We get the following order: Prophecy, Resurrection, Homing Instinct, and Flightless Bird. We will first look at these individually. As we have already established, the first painting, Prophecy, and its item reward tell of a wounded and dying hawk and of Stormvale as a birthplace. The second painting is titled Resurrection. It shows the Academy of Raya Lucaria, and the item reward is a Lavaltier as well as the Juvenile Scholar Cap and Juvenile Scholar Robe, which match the theme of Juvenile Scholars reincarnated by Renala. The robe says, "Robe worn by young Academy Scholars." Yet their rebirth is not without imperfections, and thus do they repeat the process, eventually becoming utterly dependent upon it. Rebirth is as sleep to them, and with each awakening memory fades into oblivion. This information refers to Renala's Juvenile Scholar, but as part of the lore, it seems rather useless and doesn't give much away. I believe that the memory loss is mentioned because it is about broader thematic connections that I'm trying to make clear later. In any case, the painting is about rebirth and memory loss. The third painting is titled Homing Instinct. It shows both a minor artery and graves. On closer inspection, you can also see the silhouette of the Church of Pilgrimage in between. The item reward is the incantation scarab. It reads, "As a scarab approaches death, it abandons its royal treasure and stretches its wings wide for a long journey to its home nest." Thematically, the painting is about an instinctive journey home when death approaches. The Church of Pilgrimage also suggests a kind of journey. It may be about an instinctive journey home to the Erdtree. This reminds me of the last lines of Godric.
"And one day, we'll return together to our home, bathed in rays of gold."
With the lines of Godric, the Pilgrimage Church, and the minor Erdtree, the painting could depict a journey to the Erdtree. On the other hand, however, it is also possible, starting from the graves in the foreground in Limgrave and the description of the incantation scarab, that the painting depicts a journey home to Limgrave at the approach of death. The last painting is titled Flightless Bird. In this painting, the Erdtree can be seen in front of a red sky. The item reward is the incantation Fire's Deadly Sin, which reads, "Incantation originating from a deeply ominous prophecy. The prophet despaired, looking up at the Erdtree, for soon the kindling would burst into flame, bringing ruin." The burning of the Erdtree is the first cardinal sin that is not the domain of mere man. Thematically, this painting is obviously about burning the Erdtree and the prophecy that predicts it. Now let's look again at all four paintings with their themes in the corresponding order. Stormvale as a place of birth, rebirth without memory, instinctive journey home to the Erdtree, and fulfillment of the prophecy and burning of the Erdtree. The paintings always point with their topics to the next painting. In the first painting, a place of birth is discussed. The topic of resurrection of the second painting follows on directly from this. In the second painting, a related memory loss is discussed. This is directly followed by the theme of instinctive travel in the third painting. The third painting suggests a journey home to the Erdtree. This connects directly to the theme of the fourth painting, which is about the Erdtree and prophecy of setting it on fire. I think it is now easy to see that these four paintings actually tell our story. Finally, let's look at the supposedly transposed titles. As many know, Miyazaki has a penchant for cycles. I believe that the transposed titles are supposed to establish a connection between the fourth and the first painting. The title Flightless Bird refers to the first painting and the wounded hawk from the description of the warhawk ashes. With its lord vanquished and its wings wounded, the hawk perished as it solemnly gazed at its former home. The storm is a warhawk's cradle. The flightless bird at the Erdtree is the dying warhawk with wounded wings that looks at his former home Stormvale, and Stormvale is considered the birthplace of warhawks. In summary, the paintings tell the following story. The flightless bird gazing at its former home Stormvale dies at the Erdtree. In Stormvale, he is reborn. At his rebirth, he has lost all his memories. Instinctively, he travels to the Erdtree. And finally, he fulfills the prophecy and sets the Erdtree on fire with the flame of ruin. The story of the flightless bird, or rather, the story of the paintings, reflects our story as a nameless tarnished. If that is really the case, then we died at the Erdtree in our previous life. Could it be that in our previous life we were the demigod Godwyn the Golden? After all, the prophecy says, the burning of the Erdtree is the first cardinal sin that is not the domain of mere man.